Greetings and welcome once more on the platform of conflict of diversity, management and transformation. Today we are going to look into two main concepts. These are diversity and multiculturalism. Usually, people use these two terms or concepts interchangeably to mean the very thing. I would like to say these two concepts are very important for resolving or managing conflict of diversity. But we have to understand, we have to know how to use them. The concept of diversity, when we hear of it, it means that pluralism, difference, hybridity is accepted, is acknowledged, that there is no society that is homogeneous. It is accepting the difference found within a society. This concept goes beyond homogeneity. It says that you have different types of people and groups based on tribes, ethnic groups, clans, race, age, nationality, sexual orientation, gender, and even socioeconomic background. So, with diversity, we are accepting the difference existing within a society. Here, it is important to make clear that diversity does not address the issue of power dynamics. Diversity does not address the issue of discrimination. Diversity accepts the existence of difference within the society. And that is where the concept of multiculturalism comes in. It goes beyond diversity in the sense that multiculturalism does not only acknowledge, does not only accept the existence of difference within the society, but goes beyond in promoting the existence of this difference. It goes beyond to accept inclusion, which means these different groups can work together. They live pacifically together and work together. Multiculturalism promotes the practices of justice, equality, freedom, and participation. Multiculturalism promotes the equal distribution of resources within or amongst the different groups existing within a society. So, in order to explain this better, for us to understand, we are going to use certain stages. And these stages are to clarify what the content of multiculturalism. In these stages, we talk of monoculturalism. What is monoculturalism? Monoculturalism is when an individual or a group looks at issue from their lenses, from their cultural perspectives, from their beliefs, from their thought line and thought process. When they do not think that or look at issues from the lenses of others, then you are being monocultural. The next step to be understood is cross intercultural interaction. What does that mean? It means that different cultures, different people, different religions, different ethnic groups, different clans, different races, different tribes come together in a society and live together in this society. But that does not mean that they are interacting equally. They are participating and sharing the values, the power, the resources of a state. They live together, but in some sort of a parallel manner, excluding one another, dominating one another, and the dominant group trying to assimilate the weaker group. When this happens, it creates conflict of diversity or intercultural conflict. What does that mean? It means that the interests of one group or an individual is being suppressed, is being restricted by the dominant group. So the conflict of diversity will erupt in the society and persist depending for how long the dominant group wants to dominate. But it may come to a time that there will either be conflict fatigue or the right moment when the groups find that it is necessary for them to dialogue fairly and transparently. When this happens, then we move to the next step. But before moving to the next step, I would like to insist that many African countries are today found at the level of conflict of diversity. So, if these groups understand that conflict of diversity or conflict is not the best way to resolve their issues, then they have to move to the next step, which is education. Education is a fundamental instrument in order to help manage the conflict of diversity. In this line, with education, programs are built, programs of diversity, programs of difference are built and taken into the society. The society is enhanced, is reinforced with these programs so that people will be able to understand the difference, to understand the interests of other groups, to understand hybridity, to understand how the society functions, that there is no society that is homogeneous. With education, we move away from the denial factor that there is no diversity. We move away from that idea that we are all one. We can be one, but with different values. So, when this happens, it creates what is known as disequilibrium. This is the next stage. What is disequilibrium? Disequilibrium is that through education, we have understood how we were discriminating against one another, we were hating one another, we did not accept pluralism, we did not accept hybridity, we thought that our values are the best, and we try to dominate or assimilate the other. So this disequilibrium comes in, and when such an issue happens, then you see people started thinking. It creates another thought in the minds of people. And after creating these thoughts in the mind of people, it leads to now what is known as awareness. So people become aware of the fact that there is no society that is homogeneous. There is heterogeneity. And in heterogeneity, we have to respect, accept, and recognize the values, the beliefs, the characteristics of other groups. And if we can all do that, then we are acknowledging that we have different groups, and through this acknowledgement, we are building a resilient society. The building of resilient society is the creation of multiculturalism, which means the practicing, the promotion of diversity, of different values, of different interests, equally, and on the basis of freedom. In order to understand multiculturalism better, which means the promotion, the inclusion of other identities within the society, there is a concept which is appropriate, and this is what we call intercultural sensitivity. With intercultural sensitivity, we are talking of ethno, clan, race, tribe, gender, sexual orientation, age, nationality, relativism. You relate to other cultures. You relate to other values. You relate to other beliefs. You relate to other practices. And if you're able to relate to these practices, then you respect these practices. You respect these beliefs. You respect the way other people are doing things. You respect the way other groups are doing things. With this respect, it moves now to adaptability. What is adaptability? Adaptability is that stage where we have to put in our efforts. We have to twist our body to come out from our egoistic, from our egocentric way of looking at things. We have to accept that there are different cultures, there are different peoples, there are different communities, there are different ways of reaching, of attending certain goals, and people are not the same. So adaptability is to adapt now to other beliefs, other culture. And if we are able to adapt, it strengthens us now. And once it strengthens us, that is how we start relating, we start communicating, we start talking with the other groups. We start understanding the signs, the values, the codes, the communication codes of other groups, the behaviors of other groups. When we do this, then we enhance ourselves, we empower ourselves. Then we are now in a situation of multiculturalism. I hope you enjoyed this topic. If you did, see you next week, same time. Goodbye.